Everybody, welcome. As always, we are very happy that you're here. This one's called A Glimpse Beyond the Veil. And it's going to be a really special evening, just like most of our Cogno hours, or all of them. So here's what's about to happen. Liz is going to walk you through some really cool things, part teaching, part live Cogno movement sessions. So you can actually feel what we're talking about, not just think about it. Now, a quick note before we get started. Since this is a free event, we will be taking a couple of short breaks to tell you about what's coming up next. Think of it like a podcast, a little message from our sponsors, except for the sponsors are us. We put these hours together to give you something real at no cost, and sharing what's next is what's letting us keep doing that. So consider it ads with heart, and we'll always get you right back to the good stuff. Sound good? Okay, so let's jump in. Please help me welcome the co-creator of Cognomovement, the always fascinating and occasionally hilarious Liz Larson.
Wow, hilarious. That is not a commentation on my looks. And commentation is a real word, just so you know. So Bill said to say hi to everyone. He happens to be in Colorado right now filming our next episode for Gaia. So that's really exciting. And it's on this topic exactly. So it's been really fun putting all that together. When it comes out, you'll recognize some of the people that you may know are practitioners who told their stories. I'll be on it as well. So anyway, he said he loves you all and will miss you tonight. But Leah, bring yourself back on, if you will. We'll chat for a minute. So we're in October. Happy fall, everyone. And we're in Leah's favorite time of year, Halloween time, where things get a little bit spooky and weird. But it's not just Halloween time. There's all kinds of really interesting things that happen this time of year, especially astrological stuff, full moons and portals and all kinds of things. It's really an interesting time of year. And tonight we're going to talk a little bit about how that even got started and how far back these kind of ceremonies and things, how far back they go and why they started in the first place. So, but let's talk some fun stuff first. So Leah, tell everybody the spooky thing you had happen today.
Okay, well, like I said earlier, I always have to just only pick one because it's just about every day for me, but and for you. I'm just outing you a little bit. But I was doing my cards. If you don't know me, I sort of have a oracle / tarot card obsession. So I have a lot of them, and so I was doing my cards. This one actually is the Samhain.
See it, hon. You have to put it right in front of you.
This one's actually the Samhain oracle, which is timely. And I had 3 candles that were burning while I was doing my cards. And I finished my cards, said my thank yous, and I blew them all out. And I made sure they were blown out because they're behind me when I'm working. And so all of them were smoking. I was kind of enjoying watching the smoke. So there's a decent amount of time between blowing them out and watching them and then starting to work. And then all of a sudden, maybe 30 minutes later or so, I started to hear like a bubbling noise. And I look behind me and one of my candles is burning again and bubbling for no reason. So that was fun.
What is that candle? What is it? A boil in trouble. What is that saying? Say
toil and trouble. All I can think of is toil and trouble.
Toil and trouble. Like. Candle and bubble. That's
what this my candles were I had to put them in front of me because of the green screen. This one is for a specific yeah. This one is,
and how do you know that?
Thank you, Pete. Somebody said Lauren says I also have a tarot / oracle card obsession. So I'm not alone here.
No.
So this one is a purple one for a specific goddess. Extra points if you know who it is. This one is also for a specific goddess. And then this one was for like ancestors, guides, anybody else who had good intentions that wanted to help me with my reading. And this is the one that started burning again 30 minutes later, and bubbling. So
Which is super interesting. So, those of you who know Leah and I, you may have heard the story, but my parents, Leah's grandparents, died 35 days apart, and we were just very, very, very close to them. And so Leah and myself and my aunt will often dream about them on the same night and a very similar dream. So we always share our dreams. So I dreamt that I was talking to my mom on the phone last night, which was interesting. Anyway, when we have those dreams, it's always like on your mind the rest of the day. That person seems like they're around. And so I was in my laundry room today doing some laundry, and I opened the dryer door, and you know how you move things from one place to the other. And I was doing something else over here, and the dryer door was open. Well, all of a sudden it swung shut, which would be vibration, who knows what, it shuts, but then it reopens and shuts again. I was like, wait a minute, like it hadn't shut closed all the way, and it reopened shut again. So that is my weird thing that happened today. But it does seem like this time of year, lots of weird stuff happens. Well, if you know Cognomovement at all, you know that we like to blend the scientific with what seems like woo-woo. Some of it's actually very explainable. Some of it is not. I don't know why my dryer door opened and closed again. But let's dig in a little bit. And just so you guys know, we definitely, if you just joined, we will be chatting about this for a while. And then we are going to be doing a session tonight that will expand a part of your brain that allows you to see farther into the light spectrum. And it's very, very physical. It's also a part of your body that allows you to have far better balance. It allows you to think in a new way. And it's very expansive consciously. So stand by for that. All right. So where did this come from? Where do we get this idea? And why do we lean towards the spooky in the fall? And specifically this time in October, November. So there's some really simple but super interesting reasons that I think you guys will like. One of them is that it's that time of year when everybody starts to settle down. There's a big flurry of activity in the summer. You're staying up late. In the past, they would have been working early and staying up late, working on crops and farms and animals and all that kind of stuff. And there's festivals, and there's just a lot going on. But this time of year, the air starts to cool. The day starts to get shorter. There's less and less to do. And so people start to kind of gather together. Another aspect of it is firelight, because we have less light, but we're still up in the evening. We bring in the firelight. So part of that is bonfires for burning off, what's left of the crops. And there are often celebrations around that. It starts to get cool, especially in the northern hemisphere. Starts to get cool, and we'll start to have a little fire inside or out, and we gather around. Well, this light creates, all kinds of long shadows, and it creates an area that we can't see, right? We can see where the light is, but then it's dark. And it has this very spooky feeling, like what's there, what's hiding in the shadows. And it elicits storytelling where we want to talk about what happens in the shadows. We want to talk about what happens when nobody's looking. All the ghost stories start to come out. It makes perfect sense, right? So things feel thicker, like the night feels thicker, but it also feels more alive. The full moons are often juicy and red. And that kind of makes us have that feeling too of a little spooky, a little mystical. So it's not just us that's experiencing that now. But in far, far, far into antiquity, did people do exactly these things? So let's think about kind of what makes us feel spooky and what feels our nervous systems, right? So movement out of the corner of the eye, something I can't see, right? A whisper, crackling of fireplace that sounds like talking, but it's not, a feeling of a presence. So let's talk about some of our ancestors that did this. A big one that we know about is a Celtic Samhain and harvest fires, right? That's thousands of years old. Dia de los Muertos, candlelit altars. That one was practiced long before Christianity came to the Latin Americas. But when Christianity came, it was integrated into a lot of Catholic ceremonies. There is a Jewish ceremony called Yitzhak. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but it's lamps of remembrance. There were Asherah bonfires far in the ancient Middle East, mourning rituals. So they're not really separate superstitions per se. They're responses to a human experience, an energetic shift that happens when the light withdraws and the world starts to turn inward. At least our hemisphere of the world starts to turn inward. So fire also acts like a boundary and a bridge. It protects us from the dark, but it invites us to gaze in. So there are traditions, of course, and myths, some of them. Some of them are steeped in religion as well. Far in ancient Greek, pre-Roman times, this time of year, they actually had celebrations to Demeter and her daughter. It's Proserpina in Italian, but Persephone would descend into the underworld and initiate fall and winter. So, I mean, it's longer than we probably have history that we've had this feeling that happens this time of year that kind of makes us turn towards this. So it's a shift inside to our own nervous system in that changing of the light. So there's actually some physical reasons. You guys want to know what they are? So as daylight shortens, melatonin starts to rise earlier, guiding the brain towards an alpha and theta states. So slower frequencies that are often linked with, guess what? Intuition, creativity, and altered perception. Who knew, right? Less light equals slower brain waves and heightened sensory integration. So this is the time of year that they talk about the veil thinning, and the ancestors are then near enough to contact them, right? So slower brain waves, less light, heightened sensory integration. We really have the sense that we can touch the other side during that time. So the analytical mind starts to quiet, allowing the body to become more of a sensitive instrument. And this is what we're going to be doing in the class, the upcoming class series, is helping the body be tuned to a more sensitive instrument, more attuned to feeling and subtle vibration, emotional tone, taste, touch, and even smell. So this is the time we talk about the veil thinning, but the veil is not necessarily a thing that you can touch or taste or smell. There really isn't something there that's holding you apart. It actually has to do with a part of the brain that allows you to only see about 1% of the light spectrum on average. So my experience, or Leah's experience, there probably was somebody there doing the thing, but we can't see it because we don't actually have the ability to see into that light spectrum, at least not all the time. But it turns out with Cognomovement, there is definitely a way to expand that and have those experiences more intentionally. Now, it's a ton of fun when they happen spontaneously. I mean, it really is. And we love that feeling of spooky. We love that feeling of sharing a ghost story. But there are some real uses for being able to see into other realms, see into more of the light spectrum intentionally. So we now have EEGs that can prove a lot of these things, but our ancients didn't. It was really based on sensation, how their biology responded to the world around them. So what I was referring to earlier is actually the brain's veil. And it's a thing called the reticular activating system, and it's a gatekeeper of awareness. It sits right here at the base of your skull and the top of your spine, gatekeeping what gets in and what doesn't. And what I mean by in is to the frontal lobes for consideration. So consider that in summer, you have abundant light, abundant stimulus, light and noise and movement. And the reticular activating system stays narrowed and selective because there's way more input. So it really has to filter out quite aggressively to prevent an overload if your brain is not tuned to take in, more information. So one of the reasons that we have this experience is when there's less to do, when there's less light, and the external input starts to decrease in fall and winter, the gate loosens. Fewer distractions, and the RAS, or the reticular activating system, opens and allows a few more of those subtle signals in. Slight changes in temperature, field around you movement, emotional resonance, and energy shifts start to get calculated by those frontal lobes. And now you're like, wait, what was that? Ooh, something just touched me. Oh, I feel something. So people had a real experience of the veil thinning during this time of year. This is super cool to me. I don't know. Put in the chat if you guys think this information is super interesting, because I really did. When I was doing the research, I'm like, oh my God, that makes all the sense in the world. So it psychologically opens the mirrors inside your brain. Things that you're not used to seeing or feeling or touching or smelling, or all of a sudden like, wait, it's here. And so, of course, we made up stories about it. Of course, we feel expanded. Of course, we're going to want more of that. So when we talk about seeing or sensing more tonight, we're not talking metaphorically, we're talking biologically. Literally letting the gateway to your brain open. Excuse me, just a sec here. Sorry, got a fall tickle. Excuse me, guys. Sorry.
I'll let you,
Yeah, let me get my drink here.
Yeah, I'll let you take a drink really quick. I just wanted to say, Shivani says that research says fire brings out alpha waves at 10 hertz, which is really interesting because alpha waves at 10 hertz represent a state of relaxed wakefulness. It often indicates calm, reduced mental effort, and increased behavioral inhibition. And it's funny because it basically is like a natural thing that brings you to neutral almost, is what it sounds like, which opens you up to so much more. It looks like we lost Liz. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. Anyway, it opens you up to so much more. It brings you to neutral. It's 10 hertz is frequency is considered a natural rhythm for resting, for a quiet brain, it's strongly associated with relaxation and creativity and coordinating mental resources. So the frequency that fire gives brings you to a state where you actually can be more open to these experiences, if that makes sense.
Sorry, guys. I had to get myself a cough drop. It is the first day we've turned on the heater in our house. And you know how it's always dusty? So I got a little dust in the throat. All right, let's keep going because this really is interesting. So there's also a state that happens behind when the reticular activating system opens and lets more in to actually be considered by your frontal lobe. The other state is that more parts of the brain start talking to each other, and you can get into what's called hyperconnectivity. So this hyperconnectivity is where parts of the brain that don't normally chat, they don't normally exchange information. So they don't collaborate and put all the information together. You just have one part or the other part considering the information. And it could be actually more of the limbic system, more of a fight or flight system. But when hyperconnectivity happens, you know that when you're in a deep meditative state and you just barely open your eyes and you realize that the light has changed, that sound has changed. One of the things that is going to be shared in Gaia in this episode is one of our practitioners who finished a session. When she left the session, she was in such a high state because she'd really helped the person she was with. She heard the sound of angels. When she was driving past a performing show, an amphitheater, and she thought, oh, there must be a choir. So she rolled down her window, looked over to see if there were children singing. Nothing. Just the regular sounds of people moving around. And she rolled up the window and here's the sound of angels again. So she was in that state of hyperconnectivity where she could hear something that wasn't really there. This explains why when we get our nervous system into a state of calm, neutrality, or expansion, that we do have what feels like metaphysical experiences. But here's how I would challenge us all. Is it metaphysical or just physical? Is it always here and you just can't experience it? I would say yes. It's physical. It's part of our natural world. We just don't perceive it. We can't, it doesn't feel solid to us because it's so scattered and dispersed in how we experience over time. So with the work we're going to do in this class and some of the work we're going to do tonight, you really can be in a state and have that experience whenever you want to. One of the things that Bill likes to teach, it's in our traditional Pierce the Veil class, but it's how to actually feel someone touch your skin that isn't necessarily in the light spectrum in which you can see, how to hear it, how to get a message, how to actually smell it. We've all had that experience, right? Smelling someone's perfume that's not there. One time I was driving in a car coming home from California, and all of a sudden I started to smell olives. And it was a very specific kind. And it was a smell of my great-grandmother's house. And I'd been there in years. So the olfactory senses really are something that can bring us to another place and time.
Both of us tasting perfume just 2 days ago.
Tell everybody about that.
Well, there's not much to tell. I was
can't see you, Lee.
I was on a call. I was on a meeting or something that we were doing, and all of a sudden right. I was been sitting in the same room, but nobody else walked in or out. And all of a sudden I had the overwhelming taste of perfume, like not even a smell that was familiar. It was not like a familiar smell or anything like that. It was just like when you walk through a store where everybody's spraying perfume and you accidentally get it in your mouth, like that's what it tasted like. And I was like, what in the world? And I couldn't get rid of it. And so I called Liz and told her about it just a few minutes later. And she's like, oh my God, that happened to me last night. It was super weird.
Yeah. I mean, you don't think about that as an extra perception sense, but it really is. I mean, for some people, that smell or taste is how they perceive, what we would consider the metaphysical world. So each of us kind of has a sense that's stronger for ourselves. And we can heighten that one, but we can also heighten the others as well. So autumn, like it literally changes the light that's entering your eyes as well. So the earth tilts and the sun sits lower on the horizon. And the sunlight passes through more of the atmosphere, scattering shorter blue-violet wavelengths and leaving longer reds, ambers, and golds in the sunrise and the sunsets. So these longer wavelengths carry softer visual stimulation, soothing the optic nerve and the reticular activating system, supporting the body's kind of more natural calm. So remember I was saying, when your body's calmer and you can get more to neutral, you have more access to the hyperconnectivity that you would need to have some of these experiences. So another backup reason for why we go this way, we think about this at this time of year. So autumn full moon travels also on a lower path. It appears closer and warmer, more of that red, amber, and gold, which may amplify feelings of intimacy and presence with the night, which is interesting too, right? So physically and symbolically, the world becomes less stimulating, less of this, and more reflective. It's a time when the nervous system really encourages itself to turn inward and become more reflective. So the moral of the story is that the veil, which really isn't a veil, seems to thin externally and internally, adding up to our spooky time of year. So this is why this is the time of year that we offer this class. I don't think we did it last year, but we have in the years past, because it suits us. It fits us right at this time. So let's get ready. I know we're going to wait for you to have a chat, but I want to have everybody get ready right after we are going to start our session. So if you're new to Cognomovement, we normally use these Cogno balls, and we will for just a moment. So if you have one, please have it on hand. If not, grab a pen or a little something that you can hold on to just to focus your eyes. But tonight we are going to work in the peripheral vision realm, which, like I said, activates the parietal lobes. Say that 5 times. And this is the part of the brain that deals with time and space around us. So by expanding this, you automatically open what we're able to see. So this is going to be a really fun session. So let's hear from Leah about our upcoming class, and we'll get ready for that session.
All right. So no, we didn't do Pierce the Veil last year, but it's so popular that we did bring it back. So before we do our live session, I'm just going to give you like a little quick peek at what's coming next. So this Cogno Hour is actually just a preview for our big Pierce the Veil series. It starts on October 30th. Liz and Bill are hosting Pierce the Veil Connect Beyond the Scene. It's a 3-part live series where each class opens a different sense. hearing, feeling, vision, and knowing. It's safe, it's grounded, and it's super fascinating. You'll learn how your body actually perceives what's usually filtered out. It's can be spooky, but it's not really spooky. It's biology and energy meeting in real time. So if tonight makes you curious, or if you want to keep expanding what you experience during this session, grab a spot while early bird pricing is still up. The links in, I'll put the link in the chat, and we'll get you into your experience. So Liz, take it away, and I'll put that in the chat.
All right, you guys ready? This is a fun one, but I want to set it up for you first. So when we move into the peripheral part, we're going to be seeing in 3 places at one time. What you're going to want to do is find a spot on a wall that you can focus your attention on. Now, for this one, it's kind of fun if it's a blank spot. So like a blank wall or a cabinet or something. So you're going to want to be able to look directly at it. And then we're going to be using our hands for this one to create movement in the periphery. We're going to add on a bit of breath with that as well. So everybody ready for that? Find your spot. Make sure you have a little space around you. We're going to be moving in this area around the body. Okay, so normally with Cognomovement, we have you focus on an idea, a thought, or a feeling. So tonight is really different because we're not asking you to do any of that. What we want you to do is have this experience of letting this part of your brain become active, come online. So let's get started. We're going to do a quick Cognomovement warm-up. So grab your ball if you have one. Ready? Or your pen, and let your eyes drop. And we're going to get a nice breath going. So just breathe. Then you're going to move the object or your ball left and right. Switch in hemispheres. Left hemisphere, right hemisphere. Left hemisphere, right hemisphere. And breathe. Keep breathing, left and right. And I want you to relax your body about here. Big, deep breath. For the most connectivity to happen, we want to be in a nice, relaxed state. So adding breath. And moving the hemispheres of the brain will help us calm that nervous system. Good. And breathe. Good job. Big deep breath in and pull that ball down. Just let your head rest for a second. And I want you to notice, as your eyes are closed, are there lights in your eyes? Can you see the light around you? Breathe. Just notice, like, how far behind yourself can you feel? That's not something we usually ask, right? Notice if you can feel to the left and feel to the right. How far around you can you feel? And then just notice the awareness of in front of yourself. Good. Interesting, right? To kind of feel around yourself. All right. The next thing we're going to do is find the spot in front of you. And just let your eyes gaze softly at that spot. Just notice what it looks like. And while you're looking forward, I want you to just be aware how much more around you can you also see. And breathe. Just relax your body. Kind of wiggle around. You might notice me kind of shifting. I want you to notice the tension in the body And just let it soften into itself. And being aware, what can I actually see around myself in this moment while looking straight forward? Okay, so we're going to start our practice of expanding that area around yourself. So while looking there, I want you to let your hands move about like this. Okay, and start to notice, can you see your hands move? Now, you don't want to be looking at your computer so much to do this because you'll see yourself in the computer. But notice, can your peripheral vision see both hands, wiggle them a little, and the spot right in front of you? And it may feel a little weird. You might start to have a sensation in your belly, your throat, maybe your head. Okay. And start to move up, touching in the center, that physical sensation, and move out. Wiggle the fingers, get your brain's attention, and you're seeing all three spots at the same time. Bring them in. Come back out. Notice if you can see those fingers all at the same time. For some people, it feels a little bit like being on a roller coaster the first time you do it, or maybe the 100th. It always does to me. Reach for those fingers. Now you're seeing what's in front of you. Don't lose that focused vision in front, but also let your brain see those fingers moving through space and time. Good. Now I'm going to have you turn them to the outside and just bring them down, but I want you to be watching them. You might notice that all of a sudden you can see a whole lot more of your fingers while looking forward. It's kind of exciting. Good. Okay, let your head rest for a minute. We're just going to let that integrate. Now, closing the eyes and letting the head rest, it really allows for the brain to calculate what it just saw. Remember, we want to let things get into those frontal lobes and be considered. Just rest for a second, breathe. Really good. Now, as you open your eyes, I just want you to notice again, how much can you feel behind you? For some of you, it might already feel like there's more space, or you're more aware of what's behind you. Reach to the sides, notice what you can see. It might be just a little farther out than it was before. And just notice what that spot in front of you looks like. I won't spoil it, but something might happen there. Okay, ready? Let's go again. Now we're going to add some breath onto it. And I'll show you what it looks like. It looks like this. Big deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Okay, so ready? Big deep breath in. Get your eyes focused on your spots and watch your hands as they move a little faster now. Big deep breath in. See if you can see those hands and let the breath out. Now, for some of you, it may look like silver streaks as you move your hands. So try again. Ready? Beautiful. Move up just a little bit. You want that kinesthetic touch in the middle. Ready? Brain is looking straight ahead and at your fingers. Ready? Big deep breath in and out. More silver streaks, anybody? All right. Eyes straight forward. Move up just a little bit. We're about the heart level now. Big deep breath in. Up to the throat level. Big deep breath in. Letting your brain really see those hands move. Letting your brain track 3 places at the same time. Ready? One more. We're about third eye level here. Ready? Good. A little higher. I know all the way up overhead, you're still seeing your fingers here, but focused on that spot in front of you. Big deep breath and bring it down, down, down through the sides next to you. Beautiful. It may have felt like a roller coaster for some of you, so let your head drop and rest for just a second. Let's take that integration time. And with your eyes closed now, gently be aware of what you can feel behind you, what you can feel to the sides. For some of you, it might be getting really interesting, noticing that the air might feel different to you. Notice what you can feel in front. Relax and breathe. Let your body relax. The more we relax, the more we let that information through. All right. As you open your eyes, I want you to notice, does the light look any different? Is the shadow look any different? We are changing the way our brain sees the light spectrum, so just notice. All right. Get your eyes set on that spot again. We're going to move faster this time, okay? So start down low. We're going to breathe in quickly and breathe out quickly, and you're going to let your brain really see those fingers. Now, for some of you, you're seeing them much more clearly. If you're not yet, just let your brain reach for those hands. 3 spots at the same time. That was 2. This is 3. Ready? And go. When you get to the top, big deep breath in and down the sides. Really good. All right, shake it off a little bit. Let your body shake. Let your eyes close. Let your head rest a little. Move your body. Now, it's important to move your body because we want information to move in your spine. So let's take a quick sec and we'll run our ears. So you're going to start at the top. And if it's available, start crossed over like this. Start at the very top, and we're just going to pinch and wiggle. Pinch and wiggle. For some of you, this might create a lot of heat. Move down the ear slowly. Give yourself a nice ear massage. What we are doing is moving information from your tailbone all the way up into your skull. Breathe and relax. Let your eyes close softly for this one. Okay, on the way back up, we're going to go all the way back up. I want you to let your eyes gently move left and right. Start down low. I know it's like patting your head and rubbing your tummy at the same time, but just move slow. And you can get that inner ring of the ear as well. Come all the way up. Pull those ears forward. Big deep breath. Relax and shake it off. And with your eyes closed, I just want you to notice, what does the atmosphere feel like around you? What do you notice you can feel behind? What do you notice you can feel on the sides? What do you notice in front of you? So for me, even though I've done this lots of times, the air starts to feel cooler. For some people, it's hotter. For other people, there starts to be a bit of sound. You may notice if things smell a little different or taste a little different. Just noticing. There's no right answer. And this does sometimes take a little practice. So if it's nothing for you, that's okay. We're still opening those parietal lobes for you. All right, ready? We're going to go again. Start in the center, and we're going to move faster this time. Find your spot. Ready? 3 spots. You're going to see your hands move, and you're going to be seeing the spot in front of you. Ready? And go. all the way to the top and down through. Dang it, I let my eyes follow my hands. All right, so now we're going to do just right and then just left. Ready? So start low on the right. Eyes focused here. Ready? Really let your eyes reach for that hand. Two spots at once. And all the way down. Reach with your brain. Don't let your brain get lazy and stop looking for that hand on the right. Ready? We'll go for the left. Ready? Really, really focused in front. Moving to the left. Make your brain reach for two spots at once. Some of you are getting good at this. Notice what's happening on that wall. Reach with your brain. Let your brain see two spots at once. You're doing amazing. Good. Let your body relax and let your head rest. Whether you know it or not, you're actually doing quite advanced brain training. It's really interesting. And the side effect just happens to be that it allows you to see into a greater light spectrum. Just rest for a moment, relax your body. And reach again, just noticing what it feels like around you. What does the atmosphere feel like? Noticing what is happening in your eyes with your eyes closed. Do you feel like you have a little more light happening or less? Really resting. And as you open your eyes this time, I'm going to have you stomp your feet just a little. Stomp your feet, bring your shoulders up. Big deep breath and relax. Ugh. Okay. All right. So this is our last round. I want you guys to try really hard. Let your brain really see. So what I mean by trying really hard is really making sure your brain is paying attention to what's happening with your hands, right? But let your body stay relaxed. Ready? Find your spot. Start in the center. We're going to start a little bit lower this time. Big deep breath. Reach with your brain. 3 spots at once. Reach. 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 When you get to the top, come all the way down the sides. Now, I want you guys to be aware of one more thing. Some of you may know Qigong, and you may know this stretching of energy. So this is kind of happening without you even noticing. So I want you to put your hands just about this far apart and notice if you feel something interesting. You may feel heat radiating. You may feel a little static electricity in your fingers. Just notice. And then gently pull them apart. Now, for some of you, that is going to create heat. It may also create that roller coaster feeling, but just gently pull them apart and bring them back together. Did your hands just feel magnetized back together? Did there was a draw or a pull? Interesting feeling, right? Pull them apart. And then notice if there's a draw to pull them back together. Or something that may feel like cotton between your fingers or electricity. And even move it up a little higher. See what you feel. See what you feel? And a little higher. Interesting. Right now, bring your hands down through your own field. And notice if you start to feel like what may feel like cobwebs or cotton candy, or even like you're putting your fingers through water. So you may not realize that while you're working this part of your brain and breath and ears, that you're moving a tremendous amount of energy through the body. And that is what that sensation is. It's actually energy. Interesting. Fun, right? All right. Let's finish off. We'll take our balls, or if you happen to have a pen, and let's do that left-right movement again. We're just letting our system see the new presets, the new way that we want our brain and our eyes and our nervous systems to see. Big deep breath. Let's do one more. Good. And just let your body relax. Good. Let your eyes close one last time. And just notice what the room feels like. Notice what the back of you feels like. Notice if you feel like you can reach further with what's behind you. You're aware of what's behind you in a much greater way. Notice what's on the sides. Notice what's in front. Notice what's above. And now I want you to very slowly, just a little tick at a time, open your eyes, just a little bit, just let the light in. Very slowly open your eyes. Find that spot again. And just notice how much more of your room you can see. Notice if you can see much more detail on the left and the right, above you and below you. Good. Notice if the light looks different. And just notice the quality of how your brain and body feels. Interesting. So this is just one of the kinds of exercises we'll be doing in the class. Bill will actually be taking you through the Pierce the Veil process, which is interesting because it actually even helps the other side learn how to communicate with you. So that's another fun aspect that we didn't get to talk about tonight. So we have another little spot from Leah, and then we will open up in the chat. We'll open up questions and comments if you want for about 10 or 15 minutes. So get ready with your chats. All right, Lee, you ready?
All right. So again, we're going to do a Q&A after this. So please put in your comments and questions. We would love to hear what happened as well during this exercise. So please put it in the chat and we'll read it and answer your questions. Whatever you just felt, maybe it was warmth or tingling or calm, or you saw something or you heard something. Like Liz says, tonight was just the beginning. It's just the doorway. So the full Pierce the Veil series is where we go deep, 3 sessions, each exploring a different sensory channel and expanding perception safely and clearly. Early bird pricing is open through October 15th. So if you're feeling the pull, now's the time. The link will be in the chat and will also be in your replay email. I know there's a lot of practitioners here that are watching and are interested, have already emailed me that they're interested in this class. So if you are a practitioner, please remember to use your 25% off discount code. There is a big savings for early bird pricing as well. And thank you for spending your evening with us. I do want to say that the dates that we chose for this Pierce the Veil are really exciting. So we have the first class is the day before Halloween. So obviously that's fun. And then the second series class is actually going to be during a full moon. And then the third series class is going to be 11/11, and it's going to be a portal day. So we'll explain more of that in the class. So this is going to be a really exciting class. Like I said, Back by popular demand, Pierce the Veil is here. So click the link. I will put it in the chat again, and stay for the Q&A, and we'll take your experiences and questions next. Okay, I cannot see any of you. Oh, here we go. Okay. So we have a question. Let me get back to it. How many times in a day can we do this exercise?
Well, you really could do it as many as you want to. Most of us, when we're really practicing this, we'll just do it once. It's not one of those things that you have to do repetitively, but it is good to practice doing it farther and farther out. So if you did it once today, tomorrow, see if you can see out a little further, like bring the space out. Eventually, you'll get to where you can do it outside and see hundreds and hundreds of feet around you. So that would be my suggestion for that. Not more times a day, just bigger and bigger every time you do it.
All right. I have a benign brain tumor in my left ventricle, and this felt a little weird in my front of my head, and I had mild nausea. Will that abate with practice?
So I'm not a doctor, and I rarely play one on TV, but I couldn't speak to a brain tumor. What you'd want to do is make sure you speak with your doctor and make sure breath work or eye work is okay for you to do, because we're not moving the eyes too much. That's not too much of a factor. But in general, nausea is actually pretty normal when you first start this kind of work. There's a lot of big nerve centers that run through your gut. I mean, they all gather there, right? And heart and throat and head. Those are our chakra centers also. And so when you first start to move the electricity in your body this way, nausea is normal. So yes, for most of us, that doesn't happen every time. After the first couple times, you're pretty good with it. If you keep going a little bit through it, the nausea will also abate, but you might also get some more information. So in session, at the point of nausea, we know that the body's moving energy quickly and about ready to let something go. So we don't want you to hurt yourself. Make sure it's okay for you to do. But for everybody else in general, when you get a little nauseous, lean in just a little further. And about 30 seconds after that, you might get some really interesting information, or your body will let go of something big.
All right. Oksana says, feeling very relaxed and deeply grounded after this. Also started seeing green light with eyes closed about halfway into the practice and to the end. Thank you.
Is that the Oksana I just talked to yesterday
Yes, it
in
is.
Canada? Ooh,
Yes,
fun. Fun. That is very cool. That's why I ask you to look with your eyes closed at what's happening in the light. You can kind of see the electricity moving in your own system by what you can see with your eyes closed, how much light is moving. It's interesting.
Georgine says, felt fluffy, funny energy.
Oh, I love that, Georgine. Fluffy, funny energy. Well, ask Georgine, where did it feel fluffy? In your hands or more, when you could feel around the body?
Oh, we'll wait for her to put it in the chat.
Okay.
Shivani says, thanks, Liz. Anna says, cool. Thank you so much. If you have any questions about the series as well, you can put it in the chat. We'll wait for Georgine to answer.
So I have a question for all of you. Did anyone start to notice that the spot they were gazing at started to dissolve or get some funny lights or look a little portally? Did that happen to anybody this time?
Pete says, spot on the wall became lighter and lighter and slightly red on a mustard colored wall.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Interesting, Pete. For a lot of us, it starts to look like a vortex. Super interesting.
It's funny when you start doing more cogno movement. Like we've always had lots of people always have crazy things happening, that we've all got our ghost stories and stuff like that. But it's funny when you start doing these sessions and things just start happening even more naturally, and how much light, how much things are dimensionally shifting and all of that stuff. It's funny, like, there was a point in time where I was uh in my house in the middle of the day, and I kept seeing different furniture in my house, in random places that wasn't actually there, or physically there, but I kept seeing different furniture in random places in my
Yeah,
house.
it's interesting. It really does get to a point where you feel like you're seeing into multiple dimensions at once. But you kind of get used to it. You're kind of like, oh, that's interesting. You're
Yeah.
just aware that it's part of your natural world. And then sometimes, things slip into another dimension and then you can't find them. That sort of happened to me in the grocery store today with my phone. Not
um,
good.
Anna says, yes, spot diffused and sparkly swirling lights in my vision.
Yes. Yeah.
Uh, Lori said, saw moving colors in, oh, I lost it. Hold on. Saw moving colors in the area in front of me, pinks and yellows, greens, all pastels. Also felt different shapes where my chakras are. Really
Ooh.
big shape at the third eye level, differing sizes at other locations up and down the body.
Ooh, super interesting. Very good. The seeing the lights is that first thing that happens when you're starting to see more of the light spectrum. So we've all had this experience where something moves through the corner of our vision and we look and then it's gone, right? When you're actually seeing with your full periphery, that thing will move through and you actually see it. And so the colored lights are kind of that first thing that happens. For a lot of people, they're blue. We don't know why. But for other people, there's lots of colors as well.
Georgine said both sides and saw with eyes closed, saw blue spots.
Yeah, super interesting. And there was a Cogno Conscious event. I think this is 3 years ago now, where all of a sudden we started to see what looked like electricity moving between people. And then before we knew it, Bill's nudging me. So he thinks he's hallucinating. I think I'm on the verge of a migraine because we're both experiencing this blue sheet of light and energy. Well, we hadn't done a lot of research into the peripheral vision at that time, but that's what we were seeing. But interestingly enough, many people saw it with their eyes closed. It was a segment, I think Bill might have been leading a meditation, and people weren't aware. They couldn't see it physically because their eyes were closed, but they saw it with their eyes closed. So that is interesting, Georgine, that you're seeing that as well.
Lizzie says, oh, I see billions of light squiggles all the time when looking at a white wall. When my eyes are closed, I see trillions of tiny multicolored specks swirling around, which I think it can't control. And wavy color, or maybe can control, I'm not sure, and wavy colors moving towards the center.
Ooh, so that happens to you all the time, or is there a certain time of day? So Leah has that light situation at night when the light is dim. So it'd be interesting to know if there's a time of day or if that's all the time for you.
She says
Ooh,
all the time. Lori
super
says my
interesting.
eyes were open.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah, the night people, they do be interrupting my sleep quite often. All right. So do we have any oh, I got another one. After each round of exercise, when I close my eyes, the first things I see is a dark orange rectangle shape, and inside some spiral slash pear shape that was a little bit blurry.
Ooh, really interesting, Shivani. So it sounds like to me that you started getting those parietal lobes open. And so I don't know how to say this exactly, but a lot of times we'll perceive what's in our field, but our brain is kind of programmed to not see it. Like it's there, but you're not supposed to see it. Like, you ever heard in the Ozarks, you saw something weird, but no, you didn't? So it's kind of like that. Like you saw something weird, but no, you didn't. So when we close our eyes, we'll actually get an image of that, like on a screen on the back side of our eyes. So it may be that for you, that your brain perceived it, it picked it up. Remember, we're asking the brain to see in another dimension, and it showed it to you when your eyes were closed. So I don't know for sure, but that's a possibility.
Oh, and oh, here, Ambika's here.
Hey, Abigail.
Okay, what if this pulls in strange beanies that look like humans and entities that won't go away? And may I share what I couldn't 2 days ago? Very brief.
Okay, let's wait till the very end, Ambika, and if you want to share, you can. So what if it brings in strange entities? So with this exercise, it's not about calling in entities. It's not about conjuring. It's really about letting the part of the brain that actually has the ability, the capacity to see more of what's in the light spectrum. And I've always said, if all of a sudden somebody turned on the lights, you might be really shocked about what's standing right next to you. So often, it's our own state, our own nervous system state that makes the difference in whether an entity or something we feel like we're experiencing is negative or positive. So this gets really controversial, but people will talk about dark entities, and I promise you, I experienced them, and I believe you. And if your nervous system didn't have a hook for that eye, you would never experience it. So my recommendation is, and I don't know everything, even though Leah thinks I do, would be that if there's something dark that seems like, it's not a physical thing, that you could use Cognomovement to notice how you feel when you're experiencing it. It's going to be very distinct feeling, and work it through your nervous system till you get to neutral. Because at that place, there's no hook for that eye, and you don't have that experience. So that would be my take on that question.
Lori says, do we do this without glasses and contacts?
Yes, without glasses for sure. I don't have a pair of glasses, but the reason is that your brain won't look where it's blocked. Your brain gets used to not seeing through the frame, so it ignores that. So you always want to do Cognomovement without glasses. Usually contacts are okay, but this one you might do early in the morning before you put your contacts in, or late in the evening without it, so that you're certain it's just your system seeing. Let your brain really see. So contact lenses or glasses do change the way that information gets into our eyes, and then that changes the information that our brain interprets. So in general, no glasses. Contacts are usually okay. This exercise, no contacts. I think you'll have a better experience.
Sheila says, LOL almost becomes a cogno relationship session.
Oh, interesting. You're right, actually, Sheila. You are right. But it's with the unseen. And the truth is that we are in each other's neurological soup all the time. Our nervous systems are always having a conversation, but that can even be unseen. So if you're in relationship with somebody and they're 3,000 miles away, your nervous systems are still in conversation. That could very likely look like a being in your field, when actually it's just that person that is connected to your system. So
that's happened to us a lot.
That has happened to us a lot. Even if they have passed, Ambika says, yeah, the 100%. Yeah, 100%. Energy is energy. And Einstein told us that it cannot be destroyed or created. It just is. So even though it's changed shape, it's still energy. Yeah. All right. Do you have anything else? And then if not, we'll let Ambika share what she was going to share, and we will close for tonight.
We'll just wait a couple minutes in case anybody else has any other comments. And if you want to come to Pierce the Veil to the series, come to the Pierce the Veil series. Like I said, it's backed by popular demand. A lot of people wanted it this year, so we brought it back. And I will be wearing some very interesting outfits during these classes. So just
Yeah, because
for the fun of that.
yeah, if you want to see some fabulous Halloween-esque type things, come for that. Leah's great at that. And I'll tell you that we do look at this in a unique way. We really do. And this class does help you connect with what you would consider as the other side. It's just our natural world and communicate. And many people have been able to do that. So if you're suffering with grief about someone you've lost, this could be a class that could help you with that. But it's a lot of fun. It definitely jumps your consciousness, and it really opens your vision, opens your brain, opens your heart. And it is just plain fun.
Looks like that's all for our questions and comments. If you have any questions after this about Pierce the Veil, it starts October 30th. So you have a little bit of time. Always email me at info@cognomovement.com, or you can actually text me at 858-251-6999. And ask any questions that you have about this series or anything else that you have about Cogno Movement. Thank you so much for being here. And we will see you next time. And if you need the link again, I will send it to you through email, and we will send out the replay for Cogno Hour. So thank you so much, everybody, for being here. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you all next time.